7, 8, and 9, square root addition or subtraction. These ones, again, we want to simplify our square roots first because in order to add and subtract, we have to have like terms. Like terms mean they have the square root part. If I have 2 square root of 3 plus 5 square root of 3, I can add those together by taking the 2 plus the 5 and getting 7 square root of 3. But if I would have 2 square root of 3 and 5 square root of 9, since they don't have the same square root parts, I wouldn't be able to add them together. So in this case, what I want to do is simplify these first by, of course, factoring out their perfect squares. Again, if it helps, keep your list. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, and so forth. And if you need to add to it, you can always cut it. But here again, I want to simplify. I want to factor into the biggest perfect square that divides evenly into my number. So if I'm factoring out 48, I'm going to have 16 times 3 because 16 is the biggest perfect square that divides evenly into 48. Square root of 16 is 4. So the 4 is going to come out and I'm going to have negative 4 square root of 3. If I'm going to work with the negative 3 square root of 75, I'm going to have the negative 3 in front. 75, I can divide 25 into. 25 times 3. I'm going to take out my square root of 25. The square root of 25 is 5. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Square root of 3. Notice they have the same square root parts. We're just going to add or subtract their numbers in front. And so I'm going to take negative 4 minus 15, and I'm going to get negative 19 square root of 3 for my answer. Now, because these are irrational values, if you did this on your calculator, you would get, of course, a big, long, crazy decimal number. But you can kind of check yourself by putting it in. Negative square root of 48 minus 3 square root of 75 gives me the decimal negative 32.9089. So think about negative 32.9. Then what I'm going to do is type in my answer, negative 19 square root of 3. When I hit equals, I should get that exact same number back. So if I hit equals, it doesn't look like much change, but you saw your screen blink a little bit. I got the exact same number. So that gives me a pretty good idea that, yep, I did it correctly. So number 8, I want to simplify that one. I'm starting with 4 square root of 32. So I'm going to have my 4 in front. 32 again. 16 is the biggest perfect square. So 16 times 2 is 32. The square root of 16 is 4, so 4 times 4 gives me 16 square root of 2. Then I have plus the square root of 98. 98. 49 goes into 98 2 times. 49 times 2. The square root of 49 is 7, so I get plus 7 square root of 2. So again, these are like terms. I'm just going to add or subtract, in this case, add my front numbers. So 16 plus 7 would give me 23 square root of 2 for my answer. And number 9, I have minus the square root of 80. 80. 80 would be 16 times 5. Square root of 16 again is 4. So I have minus 4 square root of 5. Then I have plus 3 square root of 20. 20. 4 is the biggest perfect square that goes into 20. 4 times 5. So the square root of 4 is 2. 2 times the 3 in front gives me plus 6 square root of 5. Negative 4 plus 6 gives me 2 square root of 5 for my answer.